So, you've probably seen the headlines, right? Banks are adopting RippleNet. But what if this is about way more than just faster payments? What if this whole thing is actually a kind of financial Trojan horse, setting the stage for a complete overhaul of the global financial system? Yeah, let's break down what's really going on behind the scenes.
And this quote, it absolutely nails it. This isn't some far-off prediction. Nope. This is a quiet, steady transformation that's happening right now, literally right under our noses, and it's changing the very plumbing of how money moves around the world. So, how do we get a grip on this silent revolution? Well, to really understand what's being built, we first have to talk about what it's replacing. Okay, so let's talk about the old world versus the new. Because at its core, this whole thing is about replacing systems that are, let's be honest, ancient. We're talking about financial plumbing that's been around for decades. It's slow, it's expensive, and frankly, it's just completely outdated for the world we live in today. And here's where it gets really clear. Just look at the difference. On one side, you've got the traditional system, where settlements can drag on for days, caught in this confusing maze of fees. And on the other side, RippleNet's proposal. We're talking settlement in seconds, a single, modern, unified network. It's that stark contrast, that night and day difference, that's driving all this momentum. Okay, so the concept sounds great, right? But who's actually using it? Let's get out of the theory and into the real world, because this is where the story gets really interesting. First off, and this is huge, the old guard is on board. And I'm not talking about a few small experiments here. We're talking about the establishment. I mean, look at these names. Bank of America, Santander, American Express. These aren't just big banks. These are pillars of the global financial system. When they get involved, you know it's not just an experiment anymore. They're taking this very, very seriously. But it's not just the old guard. The innovators are jumping in too. You've got companies like MoneyGram and Mercado Pago using this tech to completely supercharge their digital payment businesses. And this is what's so cool about it. It shows you how versatile the network is. It can modernize a huge traditional bank and at the very same time empower a nimble digital-first company. And here's the absolute crucial point. They're all on the same network. Think about that for a second. A massive bank can now talk directly to a fintech. No middlemen, no clunky old systems. This creates this powerful network effect, like a snowball rolling downhill, speeding up adoption, and honestly, democratizing who gets to play in the world of international payments. Okay, so that's where we are today. But where is this all going? What's next? Well, looking ahead, it seems like there are three main paths this whole network could take. All right, path number one is what you might call gradual integration. You know, a slow and steady process, fitting into the existing system. Path two is rapid regional growth. Think of it catching fire in parts of the world that are desperate for a modern financial system. And then there's path three, the big one, disruptive global standard. This is the most ambitious vision, where RippleNet becomes a core piece of global infrastructure. So, what decides which path we end up on? Well, it really all boils down to two huge factors. Two keys that will unlock the future here: regulation and liquidity. Let's start with the first key, regulation. And honestly, this is the big one. Regulation can either be the great wall that stops this thing in its tracks, or it can be the great accelerator that hits the gas. And right now, if you look around the world, the regulatory picture is, well, it's a patchwork. Here in the US, all the uncertainty has definitely put the brakes on. But you look over to Asia, and you see more flexible rules that are actually pushing things forward. Europe, they're trying to find some kind of middle ground. The bottom line is, for this to really take off globally, clear, consistent rules are going to be absolutely essential. Okay, that's regulation. Now for the second key. And in my opinion, this is the true game changer. It's a concept called on-demand liquidity. So what on earth is that? Well, think of it like this. It's using a digital asset, in this case, XRP, as a super fast bridge between two different currencies. So let's say you want to send US dollars to someone in Mexico. The old way is slow. But with on-demand liquidity, those dollars are instantly converted to XRP, zapped across the network in seconds, and then converted into Mexican pesos on the other side. The magic here is that it gets rid of the need for banks to keep huge piles of money parked in accounts all over the world, just waiting. And this right here shows you just how powerful that idea is. On the left, you see the old way, trapped capital. We're talking billions, maybe trillions of dollars just locked up, sitting uselessly in accounts around the globe. It's incredibly inefficient. But on the right, you have liberated capital,
With on-demand liquidity, value moves instantly, exactly when and where it's needed. That capital is freed up to actually do something. It's a fundamental shift.
So, let's put this all together. What are we really looking at here?
Well, what we're looking at is a massive transformation that's happening quietly, steadily, right beneath the surface. It might not be in the headlines every single day, but it's advancing. It really is, just like we said at the start, a silent revolution. So if you remember anything from this, remember these 4 things. First, the infrastructure? It's already built and it's growing. Second, the adoption is incredibly diverse. We're talking everyone from banking giants to nimble fintechs. Third, the real paradigm shift, the big idea, is using a digital asset to liberate all that trapped capital. And finally, number 4, regulation is still the single biggest question mark hanging over all of it. And that leaves us with one final big question. Because when you look at all this, the debate really isn't about if this new financial architecture will succeed. The tech is here. The adoption is happening. The real question, the one we should all be thinking about, is this: how fast and how deep will its impact be on the way money moves throughout our world?